Hello everyone, welcome back to All PC Geek. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to import an Android Studio project properly. This tutorial is perfect for beginners, especially if you downloaded a project from GitHub, Telegram, a zip file, or another developer. And I'll also show you how to fix the common Gradle error that appears after importing projects in Android Studio. So let's get started. As you can see, my Android Studio project is currently inside a zip file. This is very common because most developers compress their projects before sharing them online. A zip file helps reduce file size and keeps all project files organized together during transfer. But Android Studio cannot directly use the zip file properly, so first we need to extract it. To extract the project, right-click on the zip file, then click Extract All. Now click Extract. Depending on the project size and your PC speed, this may take a few seconds. And now the extraction is complete, so here's the extracted project folder. Inside this folder, you'll find all the Android project files including source code, Gradle files, XML layouts, assets, images, dependencies, libraries, and configuration files. These files are extremely important because Android Studio needs all of them to properly build and run the application. Now before importing the project, I'll move it into the Android Studio Projects folder. This step is optional, but highly recommended. Let me show you why. Open local disk C. Now open the users folder. Next, open your username folder, and now open Android Studio Projects. This folder is the default directory Android Studio uses to store projects. Keeping projects here helps Android Studio organize files properly and reduces path-related problems. It also makes it easier to locate your projects later, especially if you work with multiple Android applications. Another advantage is cleaner Gradle syncing and better project management. So I'll paste the project folder here. Great! Now let's open Android Studio. Android Studio may take some time to launch depending on your computer performance because it loads SDK tools, Gradle services, plugins, and project environments in the background. Once Android Studio opens, click on Open. Now locate the Android Studio Projects folder. Here is the project we extracted earlier. Select the project folder and click Open. Now Android Studio will begin loading the project. Sometimes you may see a pop-up asking, "Do you trust this project?" If you downloaded the project from a trusted source, click Trust Project. This security feature exists to help protect users from running potentially harmful code inside unknown projects. Now, Android Studio will begin syncing Gradle and preparing the project environment. Depending on your internet speed and system performance, this may take some time. If your project loads successfully without errors, then congratulations. Your project has been imported successfully. But many beginners face a very common problem here. Instead of loading successfully, Android Studio may display an error like "could not install Gradle distribution." Or sometimes, Gradle sync failed. This happens a lot when importing projects from external sources, so let me explain why this error happens. Android Studio uses Gradle as its build system. Gradle is responsible for downloading dependencies, compiling the code, managing project builds, and preparing the APK. When you open a project, Android Studio checks the required Gradle version from the project files. Then it tries to automatically download that Gradle version from the internet. But if the download fails because of slow internet, corrupted cache, firewall restrictions, blocked network access, VPN problems, or interrupted downloads, Android Studio cannot complete the sync process. And that's when this error appears, but don't worry. We can fix it manually. So let's fix the issue step by step. Inside the error message, you'll see a Gradle distribution URL. Copy that URL. Now minimize Android Studio and open your browser. Paste the URL into the search bar and press enter. Once you do that, the required Gradle version will begin downloading manually. The download size may be large depending on the Gradle version, so wait until it finishes completely. After the download is complete, open File Explorer and go to the Downloads folder. Here is the downloaded Gradle zip file. Now right-click on it and extract it. Once extraction finishes, open the extracted folder. Sometimes you may find another Gradle folder inside. To keep things organized, copy the main Gradle folder outside and remove the unnecessary empty folder if needed. Now close File Explorer and return to Android Studio. At the top left corner, click File, then click Settings. Inside the search bar, type Gradle. Now click on the Gradle Settings option. Now see the Gradle distribution settings. By default, it is usually set to Wrapper. This means Android Studio will try to download Gradle automatically online. But since automatic download failed, we'll switch to local installation instead. So change it from Wrapper to Local Installation. Now click the folder icon beside the path box. File Explorer will open. Locate the Gradle folder you extracted earlier. Mine is inside the Downloads folder. Select the Gradle folder and click Select Folder. Now click Apply, then click OK. Also make sure your computer is connected to the internet because Android Studio may still need to download additional libraries and dependencies for the project. Now click Resync. Android Studio will now reload the project and begin syncing again using the local Gradle installation instead of downloading it online. This process may still take some time, depending on your project size and internet speed. But this time the project should load correctly without the Gradle distribution error. And as you can see, the project imports successfully. Now the source code, layouts, Gradle files, and project structure are all properly loaded inside Android Studio. At this point, you can edit the app, build the APK, run the emulator, or continue development normally. So briefly in today's video, we learned how to extract Android Studio zip projects, move them into the correct project directory, import projects into Android Studio, understand why Gradle errors happen, download Gradle manually, configure local Gradle installation, and successfully fix the could not install Gradle distribution error. If this tutorial helped you, make sure to like the video, subscribe to All PC Geek, and turn on notifications for more Android Studio tutorials, Windows fixes, coding guides, and emulator troubleshooting videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.